Good morning, gardeners. In my last video, I talked about tillage and whether or not to do it. One of the advantages of moving to a no-till or low-till method is that you can establish permanent beds. Now, the benefit of a permanent bed is that you can focus your efforts and your amendments, time and effort, money, into those beds without having to do it in your pathways. You can leave the pathways alone and just invest your time and effort into your permanent beds. The sun is brutal. Oh, that's better. The sun is brutal today, and I cannot find a place to record that either doesn't shade my face completely out so you can't see me, or I'm squinting and looking pissed off at the world. So forgive the sunglasses, but I need to protect my vision. Where were we? Permanent beds. That's where we were. Okay, so the advantage of a permanent bed is that you can focus all of your efforts and amendments right where you need them instead of in your pathways. I'm choosing to do wood chip pathways. I could do living pathways, but I don't want the additional chore of mowing. So wood chips it is. Put down a layer of cardboard, wood chips, and every year or two we can just add, top dressing to keep it nice and fresh. Establishing a permanent bed is not complicated. The first thing I'm going to do is rake the area out. Now, I really like my extra wide rake that I got from Johnny's, but you can also use a normal garden rake, just a everyday average garden rake. The Johnny's rake is good for bed prep. The garden rake is good or better at getting into some tighter areas where, that 2-foot wide rake just isn't good at going. So I'm going to rake the area out, pull out any big debris that is there. The smaller stuff can stay and decompose. And once that's done, I am going to put down some compost. Now, I have some unfinished compost. It has completed the thermophilic process. In other words, it has gotten hot and cooled off after being turned several times. But it just hasn't had time to completely break down. You don't want to add hot compost onto your bed. You're going to burn your plants. But since I use a lot of eggshells, I really want, even though these are flowers and we're not eating them, rather be safe than sorry. My eggshells go through the compost, through the thermophilic process. It gets up to about 140, 150. It's gotten as hot as 170, and I had to do something to cool it down. But yeah, I can never seem to make enough compost to actually let it finish off. And that is a lifetime goal that I have. But I can make enough compost. I'd love to do lasagna gardening, but yeah, I can't make that much compost, and I certainly am not going to buy it in because I'm terrified of what I'll get. People use too many chemicals these days, and protecting my soil and the pollinators here that benefit me is of utmost importance to me. You do you. So once it's been raked down, I put down a little bit of compost, and again, as you can see, I didn't put down a ton of compost. I'm just trying to get some some of that biology in my soil. I add my drip lines. When I ordered my irrigation kit, for some reason they sent me more of these and then they did ends, so I'm going to use a binder clip on the ends. But to set up your drip line, it's very simple. All you got to do, make sure there's not dirt on here, because I'm not looking to put dirt on in the emitters here, is puncture a hole. And I like to wiggle it around, make it a bit bigger, and you'll see why in a second, because these are not easy to get stuck in there. And then you just cram this in here. And that actually went in pretty easy. Usually I have to wiggle a little bit and try not to curse. Make sure that's all screwed all the way back. Put your drip line on and hold on to it as you screw it down. Drip line, it'll leak. It'll leak here, it'll leak at the end, but it's not terrible. Now here at the end, I'm going to pull this tight, or tight-ish, just pull it straight. And then since I have to fold it, I'm going to cut it back just a little bit. Fold this over once and then twice. Put your binder clip on. It's not ideal, but I am not going to sit around and wait for end caps to come in. So now I just repeat the process 2 more times. You can irrigate however you want. Sprinklers work. I've used those for years. Like the drip lines, because again, I'm only adding what I want where I want it. There's no need for me to be irrigating pathways. Mother Nature can do that. And the benefit of having dry pathways is that it cuts down on weed seed germination. So you're pulling less stuff out of your wood chips over time. Now, one option that you have with the wood chip pathway is after a few years of it being walked on and degrading or composting, you can actually scrape that and put it into your beds as an amendment. But for me, again, wood chips add great nutrients to your soil. However, that's another chore. That's a harder chore than just grabbing a couple wheelbarrows of wood chips and tossing it on, spreading it out on top of already existing, get out of my face, already existing wood chips. And that's really all there is to it. So my bed is prepped. It's time for me to plant some plants. These are my final successions of sunflowers and zinnias that are going in. So like this video if you like this video, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, keep growing strong.